all know this is the 150th anniversary of that act, the Emancipation Proclamation, 150 years ago. But it took almost 100 years for America to properly define the status of African Americans. But this act here is very important. I'm sure you're reading it. This is really good stuff here. This is very important for Muslims to understand our purpose. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make mistakes. So we have to be really ready to accept this responsibility and this opportunity. This marked a radical break from the immigration policies of the past. The law previously excluded Asians, Africans, and Asians, Africans, and preferred Northern and Western Europeans over Southern and Eastern ones. At the height of the civil rights movement of the 1960s, this law was seen as an embarrassment. And this is what happened. Of course, you're familiar with the Selma March, Selma, Alabama. And what ended up happening when the great news reporters and the broadcast companies, CBS, NBC, ABC, when they started covering the civil rights movement, then that started exposing the hypocrisy of the American dream to the world. If America claimed that she was the great liberator and the mother of the huddled masses, if you will, as an Ellis Island, if America is making that laudable claim, then it was time for her to prove it. So the news cameras exposed the apartheid that was going on in this country. And this act is very important. At the height of the civil rights movement, it was an embarrassment. So President John Kennedy, he called it nearly intolerable. Nearly intolerable. After Kennedy's assassination, President Johnson signed the bill at the foot of the Statue of Liberty as a symbolic gesture. And that is a very hot-button topic nowadays. It's no coincidence, brothers and sisters, that immigration is coming right back around. Through efforts of the Civil Rights Movement and the signing of the Immigration Act, America, with all of its opportunities, eventually became the home of thousands of Muslims hailing from such regions as the Arabian Peninsula, the Indian subcontinent, Africa, and Southeast Asia. Muslim minorities who resided in the U.S. prior to 1965, guess what happened? Gained a security in their ethnic identities, and this, brothers and sisters, was the Islamic rejuvenation in this country. Even the possibilities of citizenship became a more common reality. And we have a chart here, or a pie chart. And I was discussing this with my government class at Al Class Training Academy. And, you know, normally because of the Muslims, we love the Arabic language and we love Arabia for three. Who can tell me the 3 reasons why the Prophet ﷺ said you love Arabia? Give me one reason. They don't have to be in order. One reason why you love Arabia. Jabril.
Because he's going to have it. Because he was born there?
Because the Prophet ﷺ was born there? Yes, he said, Ana Arab. Right? What else? Thank you. The Quran is in Arabic. And the 3rd reason? Yes, sir. My neighbor. Assalamu alaikum. Yes. And so those 3 reasons. The Prophet ﷺ, he is an Arab. So how can you love Muhammad ﷺ and hate the Arab? He said it, don't hate the Arab. He said it, don't hate me. They said, yeah, Rasulullah, how can we hate you? Right? So the Prophet ﷺ was an Arab. I remember when I was teaching in the madrasa at Masjid al-Falah, and most of our students there, of course, some of us from the neighborhood, and Sheikh Ali, you know, most of our students are Bangladeshi. And I was teaching a group of young boys, and one of the boys, he interrupted me in my seerah lesson. He said, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was Bengali. SubhanAllah. And then I said, no, brother, no. And then I started to, you know, I use that as a teachable moment. You know, that's what we call it in education, a teachable moment. So I started to teach him, and I said, wait a minute. I looked around, there's maybe one African-American kid, one Yemeni kid, I said, hold on. Raise your hand if you think the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Bangladeshi. All these hands going. So we all love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We want him to be black. Wallahi, there's guys who want him to be African, want him to be, we love him so much, but he was an Arab. So, oh, excuse me. All of you Apple computer people, I don't want to hear it. Every time something goes wrong with our computer, they say, you should have got a Mac. Okay, so when I was discussing this with my government class, my American government class, the social geography or the demographics of the Muslim community, they were surprised to see that only 26%, only 20,